.com.
All right, there we go. Finally through the news. We're going to take your guys' calls. We got, I think, 5 of them in the cannon. 810-207-1764, or send a message over to Final Encountercast on Skype. Kookie will get you all set, and we'll get you on the air. But real quick, before we get to your calls, I just wanted to kind of go through the trailer that we saw, just so everyone is kind of operating off of the same context. So, Nintendo dropping this trailer, man, already seen 16 million times. That's crazy.
That doesn't surprise me.
No, it doesn't. But all right, let's take a look at this.
Can't wait for the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie. That's what it looks like.
Hashtag Nadia's Murfin.
Thanks, all right, so first of all, the controller kind of looks like shit, I gotta say. Like when it's on the like controller stand
tablet.
Yeah. Well, actually on the tablet, like this. This looks fine.
It looks like a Wii U.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
when it's on the actual console dock, it looks like garbage.
It's the charger?
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like trash.
Yeah.
Well, it's a charger. You're not supposed to.
No.
It's a dock.
The thing that it makes it into a controller.
Oh.
That looks like fucking like terribly bulky. So
the thing that you hold when you're playing it on the console.
Yeah. There's so many different configurations of this goddamn machine.
It's like Voltron.
I know, right? But I mean, as a tablet, as a handheld, it actually is pretty appealing. I gotta say that screen is huge. That's a huge screen.
Music choice was so strange.
So we see that it's got cart games.
Yeah, picking up basically where the 3DS left off. It looks like the SD card kind of is back.
Yeah. I don't know. That's not. I don't know if that's the worst decision. It seems. I mean, the capacity on those is pretty good.
I feel like they've just kind of determined like people like cartridges still. As much as I keep thinking it's going to go away and die, even I enjoy having the cartridge.
Yeah. The alternative is, I think, way worse.
Yeah.
You've got to. Yeah, you've got to go. But the question is, like, okay, so there are carts, but is there also going to be an additional, like, SD card, micro SD, like additional storage for, downloadables?
I would guess
Probably.
yes.
How would you not?
There would have to be
internal storage, but then that's capped, and you can never switch it out.
It's got USB ports on it. I'd imagine it'll have an SD port.
Okay, well, fair. So by the way, this is I actually need to object to this part of the trailer the most. There is no way that if you're sitting in an airport playing a fucking Nintendo, that a hot, attractive girl is going to sit down and give you an iota of your time. Maybe, like, this guy isn't even hot enough for this girl to be talking to at all.
Do you remember the advertisements back in the day for the Virtual Boy? Where it always showed... Oh, my God.
I absolutely don't.
Well, they always showed them playing it outside or in public. And, like, no one was going to play the Virtual Boy in public. Nintendo, you're delusional.
Diamolos in the chat saying these people are too attractive. The girl is. I don't know about the guy's...
The guy's about right.
The guy's definitely goofy with his stupid square jaw and meaty face.
He looks like he could be cast as Spider-Man any day now.
He's not black.
Why would that matter?
Because the next Spider-Man has to be black.
You think it's going to be Miles Morales next?
Donald Glover.
No, he's Lando Calrissian.
No, after Spider-Man. No, Lando Calrissian's in, like, Star Trek or something.
Oh, my God. I can't even have this conversation with you.
It's got a kickstand, man.
All right, so I'm a little confused as to why, at this point, you would take the two different mini controllers off of.
It only makes sense if they haven't some kind of motion control in them, but they haven't been billing that, have they?
Not that I've
does
seen.
not
no.
have motion control.
Yeah. I don't think that would make a whole lot of sense.
So that way you can
Sit back and I don't. Why not just use it as a fucking tablet?
Yeah, why
at
not
that
just
point?
hold it like this?
I guess to just show off the feature.
Sometimes it's really heavy. Okay.
I guess to just show off the feature, fine. But the notable thing is that they're playing Skyrim on it.
Yes, and Bethesda's a confirmed publisher.
Yeah.
Yay, because we need a 6-year-old game on it.
Right. So you can actually use actual controller with it too. That's good.
That's good.
That's great news.
Can I plug a game controller into it?
So basically, what they're saying is that the docking station is what connects it to your TV, but that the processing is all done
In the tablet.
in the actual tablet.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Interesting choice. I mean, it's smart. It makes a lot of sense when you think about it. I mean,
I don't know how else you would do it if you want to build as something that can be both portable and
absolutely.
on console. You have to do it that way.
I think if anything, I think that makes me concerned that it limits the power. I mean, I know that NVIDIA
it's a Tegra processor. It's not that great.
Well, NVIDIA's paired with them, but Nintendo's always lagged behind in terms of graphical power. But I mean, I've heard people wondering whether or not this is going to be, going to have graphics on par with, like the PlayStation 4 current or whatever the next gen is going to be. Is this current gen? Is this next gen? What gen does this fall into? I'm going to guess that this probably can't put out the same frames per second or the same resolution that even a current PlayStation 4 could.
I doubt it. I don't think it will.
I mean, granted, the trade-off is a huge amount of portability, and that's awesome. Mm-hmm. If the battery life can sustain it. That's a big if. That's a big if.
Yeah, and we'll talk about that a lot in the discussion today, I'm sure.
So I think that's my two primary concerns for the system so far. Let's check out the rest of this ridiculous trailer.
Tiny controller.
Yeah,
Imagine putting your hand around that?
No, I really can't. They're the hand cramps. I'm already thinking of hand cramps. Okay, no one on earth would do this. No one on earth. Hey, guys, we just finished our basketball game. Let's play video game basketball. No.
This is in there so they can
Never. No.
It's in there so they can confirm an NBA 2K game. That's all it's
Fuck off. No one on earth would do this. Either you're going to go out and you're going to play a fucking video game or you're going to play basketball. You're not going to cram the two together for some inexplicable reason. Dumb as shit.
Controller.
Yeah, I hate that controller. Not as much as I hate this woman's skirt, though. What the fuck is that? Is she a war refugee from the 1930s? What the fuck are you wearing, lady?
All right, she's got to get to her rooftop party.
She's a shut-in, okay? She doesn't get out often.
Clearly.
But
now
Switch is allowing her to. She's going to switch it up.
Who honestly goes to a fucking rooftop party and brings a video game with them?
Well, what else do you do on rooftop parties?
Yeah, I'll be honest, I've never been to a rooftop
I was
party.
going to say, have you been to a rooftop? I haven't been on a rooftop
Fact
party.
of the matter is, that doesn't happen.
Rooftop parties?
Yes,
Well, maybe
that's
in
what
New
I'm
York
saying.
it happens. I don't know.
Fuck off.
There's
Does
a lot
it?
of roofs
Maybe
in New York.
in your friend's idealized version of Manhattan, maybe.
How I Met Your Rooftop Party?
Oh, for fuck's sake. So stupid.
Drawing out them plays, man. I'm liking the Pro Splatoon.
Yeah,
Esports Splatoon, that's where it's at. But
clearly that's gonna become a thing.
can you play with your friends on Splatoon yet? Sure couldn't.
This is so stupid.
Hey, you are going to pioneer the esports scene, so you need to be on board with Splatoon
Oh
esports.
God, I'm
okay?
gonna have to cover Splatoon on the new show.
No, you're not.
And Pokemon.
No, you're not.
VGCs.
Let's be honest. No, you're not, because no one plays Splatoon competitively. No one, not a single fucking person.
Lots of people play Pokemon competitively.
No, I mean honestly, if they wanted to get something legit on there, why not put I don't know, Smash Brothers, something that actually competes. I mean, it would be nice to know that maybe not a new version of Smash Brothers, but at least that, you know, the newest version of Smash Brothers would be playable on that, right? I mean, they showed off Mario Kart, and it wasn't a new Mario Kart. It was the old Mario Kart. It's the Wii U Mario Kart,
Yeah,
right?
but it had different characters.
Whoa.
So it might be like a royal version.
Fine. Okay.
Updated version.
Okay.
I think the thing I'm most excited for, I saw in that trailer, you only saw it for a moment, but there's the new Mario game. Just a new standalone Super Mario 64-esque game. That I'm actually excited for.
Yeah, I'm into that.
Yeah.
I'm into that. It's been a while. It's been a while since we got something like that.
Yeah, what was the last one? Galaxy? Or well, there was Super Mario 3D World,
Yeah,
right?
I was going to say 3D,
yeah, 3D World, yeah.
Yeah.
That was actually really fun because it was 4 players, man.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of positive talk about 3D World.
I
like
wish
to
I
play
had
that one.
friends to play that would play with me that game, but I don't.
Well, that was
Because you're,
sad.
yeah, because you're a sad, lonely human being.
Because most of us don't own a Wii U.
Nobody
Well, that was-
like no,
I have
no,
a Wii
no,
U.
no, no. That's a very valid technical reason why. Okay, we don't like you. That's why. We just do-
That's our more petty
yes,
reason.
as a person, we just don't like to be around you. We tolerate you.
Okay, you know what?
To
Give
do
me
the
back
show.
all my legendary Pokemon.
No,
Yeah. Yeah.
you got fair things for those like Kabutos and a Snorlax. Yeah, where else would you have gotten those Kabutos? That's right.
From myself.
All right, we want to take some of your calls here on the show. We want to hear what you have to say about the NX, now named the Switch. We're going to go right...
How come they have to like ruin names? Like the Ultra 64, I thought was way better than just the Nintendo 64.
Well, Dolphin. Dolphin. Yeah. Yeah.
That's a
fair.
cool one.
You want
But come on, NX was way better than Switch.
Okay, yes. I mean, I don't know. Their name...
I like that they're switching it up a bit.
Look, I'm just glad that they're not calling it, you know, Golden Shower Bukkake something. You know what I mean? Like after we, you know, like
Oh,
we're just,
okay.
you know, we narrowly
That's
dodged
connection?
that bullet.
That's the connection. Okay, that's where we're going. Very, very.
Mature,
I was going to say loosely,
highbrow,
loosely connected.
highbrow. That was the
But-
word you're looking for. I got them smart jokes. You got to think about them. We're gonna go to Philip.
You know,
We're gonna go to Philip.
your Sesame credit's going down right now, buddy.
Good. I hope it is. We're gonna go to Philip. What's up, Philip? How's it going? Thanks for calling Final Encountercast.
Oh, doing great. How you guys doing over there?
We
Pretty
are
good.
awesome. Glad to hear from you.
Yeah, let me tell you something about that Switch. It's probably one of the biggest tongue-twisting teasers that I have ever seen in my life. I mean, you got all these indie hot, attractive young people showing up like, hey, why don't you hang out with us over at the top of our building? Oh, why not? I look hot enough. Sure. Yeah. Oh, here, have a little controller thing, modular technology. Oh, man, starting to think about Ouya all of a sudden. Wait, what? No, I don't want that. A tablet? Oh, God, what is in it? What is in this tablet? What's the battery usage? Is it going to last long in my plane? What if I have a 5-hour plane ride? Why is there always all these hot people? What if the scenario that I'm sitting next to a really fat person? I don't know. All these things are in my mind. I hate it. Oh, God. This is just like Wii U. Oh, God. This should have been the Wii U.
It really should have been the
Yeah,
Wii U.
it really
I mean,
is the
honestly.
Wii U too.
It kind of is. It's sort of like the natural extension of the Wii U.
Wait,
Wii
can
U
I just
controller?
like caller? What is your standard for? I'm hot enough to go to a rooftop party because we all are unaware that rooftop parties exist.
Do I need to?
Shit, are we not pretty enough?
maybe we're just, maybe we're not attractive enough to ever get invited.
Do we need to buy scarves and trilbies and vapes? Is that the problem?
Well, you just have to have that 1930s haircut, and
That's right.
you know, Draper, and then after that, then everyone will want to be.
That's right. That's right.
Oh, I gotta get one of those skirts too.
Shaved on the side, and then a goofy mess of hair up top. Yeah, it's a good look for dumbasses.
But all seriously, I got to be honest here. I just don't know, man. I got to know more. I need more info. Because, I mean, we're getting teased the same thing we got teased about Wii U. And it's like, oh, look at all the fun things you could do with the Wii U. Oh, look, you could throw shurikens and lightning. And I'm like, I don't like the tablet controller. And I still don't like the tablet controller. But if it's on the go, I'm like, oh, well, yeah, I guess I could be okay with that.
You know,
I wouldn't.
Do you think it's got a touch screen on it? I don't think it has.
It does not.
On it. No,
No?
It confirmed
Does
that
not.
it doesn't.
It does not.
That's
Oh my
kind of
God.
weird. That's
Oh wait.
wait,
yeah, it does.
yeah, I was gonna say
I
that's
was
such a,
under-
that would have been a very strange decision to make, given the Wii U, the Nintendo DS. Those all
Actually, I
had
don't-
In that whole
touchscreens.
trailer, they never showed them touching the
don't
screen
think it
one
does.
time.
You know what? They didn't show it, but I would be surprised. I would be shocked, considering that every tablet device, phones, so many of those are touchscreen. It's not like it's a difficult technology to work in there.
I know, but why wouldn't you show it off?
The frame rates were terrible in this teaser. I don't know if you guys noticed it, but I mean, they were playing vanilla Skyrim and what was it, the Legend of Zelda, whatever it's going to call it, and the frame rates in the Zelda game were really bad, and I was just like, going, oh god.
That's exactly what I'm saying, man. This is not going to be able to put out the same kind of frame rate. Like, we have to have reasonable expectations for this. And the question is it going to end up being good enough to put on your television, or is this really only a satisfactory machine for when it's in your hands?
Well-
And I guess the other question that I have is, like, what is actually a part of that dock? Like, if there's additional, like, how do you provide additional processing power in a dock? But I mean, it does seem like if you're going to be making that a full presentation on your television, either you're like you're going to have to be like, look, you're audience, you're not going to be able to expect 60 frames a second, and are gamers going to be okay with that? Like, there's a lot of concessions already if you're a Nintendo consumer that you're taking. Like, if you're buying a console, you know that a third of the good games that are coming out for the next 2 years are going to be off limits to you. You know what I mean? Like,
Well, I guess, but I mean, come on, who doesn't have a PC in this day and age?
look, I don't. You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
I'm never wrong.
But at the same time, though, you know, like, when it comes down to spending your money, that's a very real cost benefit analysis that people end up doing. And if you don't have that graphics card, if you are running a budget PC, and Steam is not an option for you, I mean, granted, there are way less exclusives for Sony and Microsoft now than there ever were. That is a closing trend, fortunately, in the gaming world. And there is a lot more that's segregated only to Nintendo products, as opposed to the competition between Sony and Microsoft, right? So, I mean, yeah, it's definitely part of the cost-benefit analysis, but is playing a worse version of games that have been out for, God, like 6 years at this point? Like, really, is that really going to be able to justify the purchase?
I mean, it worked for Square Enix.
Oh, my God.
Please don't start modeling everything after how Square Enix does it.
Right. Well, I mean, there are a lot of questions, like, what's the price point?
Oh, yeah.
That's a big one. I mean, because your price point is really going to drive interest in people picking it up as a second console. That's a space that's not occupied by anyone right now. You know, you've got your main investment, your main console that people will buy, if you're even still buying a console anymore, if you're not just all the way over to PC at this
Sure.
point, which I understand there are those people. That is becoming a much wider section of the gaming audience. And I totally readily admit that. But there's no secondary, there's like no budget option, there's no secondary option. Nobody's buying a PS4 and an Xbox One. It's a binary choice. But I could see people, you know, wanting to go, well, I got my PS4 for the, you know, PSVR and stuff like that.
But I need Mario.
But I need Mario, and And honestly, the portability of it that's a very attractive part of the equation right there.
Not like for me, I look at that thing and I say that this doesn't look portable to me. That thing is humongous.
Yeah.
Like for me, portable says I can fit it in my pocket.
Well, I'd be afraid of cracking the thing in half.
Yeah, and I don't feel like I can fit that in my pocket.
No.
That thing is going in a bag.
Okay, well, you're going to have a special suitcase for this. I mean,
Oh,
would you
God,
not-
and you're going to have a case to keep it safe. It's going to be even bigger to carry around.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I have one of those big shell cases for my PlayStation Vita, and it's fucking obnoxious to take anywhere. I've got to have a bag. I can't reasonably put that thing in my fucking pocket. There's no way.
That's like 3DS for me. I have it's the biggest that I can get into my pocket.
Yeah.
And if it was any bigger, I wouldn't do it.
3DS or 3DS XL?
I think it's an XL.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was
but
going to say.
if it was any bigger than that, I wouldn't.
So I was going to say this is normal 3DS right here. and
Okay,
I feel
no,
like
mine's bigger than that.
that's
That's tiny.
This is reasonable.
You can't even see the screen on that stupid thing, though.
You're not wrong. But it's
That's a 3DS for pores, let's be honest. You're not going to be grabbing anyone's pussy with that thing, I'll tell you what.
Oh my God.
Philip.
Make it stop.
Philip, thanks for the call, man. We've got a bunch of other people hanging on the line that we got to get to. If you want to call Final Encountercast, 810-207-1764. Final Encountercast on Skype. Chris,
Yes.
what do you feel from the bubble, man?
Dude, I'll tell you what.
News from the bubble. Let us know where's your hype level
Shut
at,
the
bro?
fuck up. You are part of my bubble right now.
No.
Don't you forget it.
I am not.
You are part of the bubble.
until I break
Pokey Professor.
Until I break down and actually buy a console.
Do you two need like a moment alone? I could give you some privacy.
Actually,
I've heard what
can
people
you
are
go,
writing
can you go
about
give me
you.
some tea?
Yeah, let's
we don't
go.
have Pop.
I need a
Pops
power
isn't
rating.
here.
Well, that one
All right, buddy.
backfired.
Yeah.
That sort of backfired on you.
Yeah. All right. So, do you want to make out now? Or?
All right, yeah, I'm gonna give you guys 10
Daddy?
minutes.
Stop. News. Give us news from the bubble. What are the insiders feeling about the Nintendo buzz?
I don't know about insiders are feeling. But
Oh, really?
I'll tell you what I'll
I
feel.
thought this was a highly connected community.
I'll tell you what I feel.
Okay.
I'm also feeling underwhelmed, okay? Because it was just a trailer. Like, it's just saying, hey, this is the thing. This is our gimmick. And that's it. That's all. That's all I gathered from that.
Confirmation that it's a thing, but at least we know what the fucking gimmick is. I mean,
Yeah, and I'm-
do you remember some of the insane things that we were seeing? It's all it is a controller, and it's got it's all of it. It's just a touch screen. I mean, like there was really ridiculous
Well,
stuff that was circulating about it.
Are they wrong though? It's a controller and it's got a touchscreen, and that's
It's definitely not what they drew up or imagined in their head,
Well,
which
I mean-
looked something like a batarang that was cut out of a fucking iPhone. That thing was ridiculous.
that thing was pretty sweet.
That was so stupid. But I mean, look, yeah, some of the rumors were right. I mean, like, what are you like? Like, what do you feel as a Nintendo fan, though? Like,
I don't feel.
I mean, you said underwhelmed. Is it the concept that's underwhelming? Is it the possibility that the specs are going to be worse than?
I don't care about specs.
No.
I literally I don't. They just go in one ear out the other. Like you're like, oh, NVIDIA Turbo Butt Munch processor in the butthole. I'm like,
But you
I
don't. Are you telling me you don't honestly notice like some of the frame rate issues that Pokemon has?
Only when it's noticeable, when it drops to like 20.
Right.
That's when I notice it.
Yeah, during battles.
Yeah.
And shit.
Oh my god.
Right? Like, how is that okay? Like,
It's not okay.
yeah, from a hardware perspective, like that's the dominant portable video game system right there, and it's chugging 12 frames a second on
That's
two
'cause
Pokemon.
They were pushing the hardware so strongly in Ruby and Sapphire.
How is that okay?
I don't know. This is why it needs to be a handheld console, is because Pokemon just requires it, because it's so GPU intensive that they had to make their next handheld be as strong as a console. So they just combined the two.
You
see?
you don't actually believe that, do you?
It's a theory.
I
And it's just a theory.
don't.
Don't keep going.
No.
Let it happen. Okay, but in terms of the gimmick with the controller, that is like the most underwhelmed I've ever been.
Really?
Like, I thought the Wii with the motion controls, that's something. That's interesting.
Okay.
I could get behind that.
Right.
Worked out terribly, but, whatever.
Yeah.
Tablet touchscreen with the Wii U. Okay. It's weird, but they can have, like, the second screen, have your inventory. That could be something interesting, too. I'm behind that. This whole controller thing, like, what are you trying to accomplish by having detachable controllers? I don't understand what the end game is for this thing.
I think it's just the option to have it.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like,
game developers couldn't utilize like the second screen on the tablet well enough. How are they going to utilize a detachable controller?
well, that's the thing, is that it's totally optional. Like, if you I mean, like, yeah, if you want to include like a mini controller mode, yeah, like it is a little bit more programming that I guess you would have to do to be able to support multiple modes.
I said Powerade, you piece of shit. This is Mountain Dew.
Oh, then maybe don't call me Pops next time.
I called you after you.
This is.
I knew what would happen.
I requested tea, and this is clearly urine.
I mistook the two. I'm sorry.
I'll trade you.
Why does it smell like sex and shame in here?
There's no shame. Just something wonderful. Thank you, Daddy.
Stop. Stop. Dear God.
Your mouth says stop, but your heart says go on.
Let's go back to our phone lines and hear
And
from
change the subject.
And leave this awkwardness behind.
abruptly. Dear God. Let's talk to Diamolos. What's up, Diamolos?
Every time I get
Oh,
on here,
Diamolos, hang on. There's a
his
donation.
Line back.
just makes me lose my train of thought.
Yeah, just talk right over us. That's great.
Yeah,
Yeah,
jeez.
just talk right over the donation.
Sorry.
We tried to tell you that it was happening, but you were just off and running. No one heard any of that because we had to mute you.
Yeah, start over.
Try again.
Anyway,
Hi.
So
Let's talk about the Switch.
Yes, I think it's a good idea. Stupid trailer aside, this is something that I've wanted for video games since I was like 6. But I'm kind of at a point in my life where I don't do handheld gaming much anymore. Like, I don't really think I'm part of the market for it. I do think it's a good idea. One of the things, like you guys have been talking about, is the graphics being an issue.
Right.
Even as a PC gamer this generation, strictly PC gamer, I'm not getting on the other consoles. I feel like AAA studios have been focusing too much on the graphics and not enough on the gameplay.
That's no. I think that's fair. And what you're talking about is development time that's allocated in a certain department, and more emphasis being spent, more time being spent developing graphics and things like that. And I don't disagree with you. The thing is, though, is that as a hardware maker, like as a hardware developer, you've got to be able to support that. Like, you've got to be able to run that, even if it's a misallocation of time from the development standpoint. Like, the hardware should be able to run it. And they're setting a pretty high expectation. Now, I saw the comments in the chat that Skyrim is not confirmed for the NX and that wasn't actual footage of Skyrim running on the NX. That's pretty clear. I don't think any of the footage that we saw was it was the hardware actually in use. So we're not going just by what's on the video. My point is that there is no hardware that is that size that can run games natively like that. There's just hardware that's just, it's not good enough to do that. So what you have to do is you have to kind of use the consumer grade products that are out right now that you can buy as your as your baseline. What can the best tablet output right now? That's basically the pinnacle of what you're looking at.
Man, tablets can't even run Hearthstone well.
That's what I'm saying. Dude, I mean, like, good phones struggle sometimes with Pokemon Go, depending on where you're at.
and I mean, we know that the processor in it is a modified Tegra processor, which is commonly used in phones. But like,
and that it is
running
running off of NVIDIA architecture, so it's not something that's proprietary to Nintendo, which that's actually kind of a bigger deal.
Yes.
Than people have been, been making out of it. But the point in saying that is that we're not basing our judgments, or we're not basing our reservations about the hardware off the video that's actually shown off in the trailer, but more based on what we know about consumer-grade electronics right now. So, for those that tried to poo-poo that in the chat, just, a quick note to you. But, Diamelos, I think you're not alone when it comes to hardware concerns, when it comes to frame rate concerns, when it comes to reservations about mobile gaming. But I want to, and I kind of want to drill down on that a little bit, because I've actually found that as I get older, mobile gaming plays a much larger part of my life. Now, I don't know if that has to do with my job.
Yes.
It probably does.
Yes.
Because there are large tracts of time where I don't have to be paying attention to my job to still be doing it.
If you had a real job, that'd be in your locker right now.
Well, fortunately,
You don't have a
I
real
don't have a real job. I have a fake job where I say words into microphones and people pay me money for it. I don't understand why.
You don't make anything.
All I'm doing is exploiting a personality trait. That's all I'm doing. I'm just trying to capitalize on
Fear and hatred.
on my ability to entertain people. You can't fault me for wanting to make a little bit of money off of that, right?
Well, we can, but our names would be lyric to do so.
Yeah. It would probably wouldn't be very good for your bottom line if you did.
Probably not.
Yeah. Anyway, Diamelos, what do you have any other reservations? I mean, let's talk about the mobile gaming thing for a second, because again,
Battery life.
battery life is going to be a really big deal.
Yeah.
I mean,
what mystical new battery technology have they unlocked that this is going to work?
Right.
Adamantium.
Well, you can also kind of consider the fact that, like, for your normal phones and tablets, you've got a lot of background processes running. Whereas if this is strictly a game console with very little things going on in the background, that means you're not going to be draining as much power. But my phone barely lasts an hour and a half with Pokemon Go running, so
that's exactly my concern. I burn through my phone's battery so quick.
Yeah, but the Switch is a lot bigger than a phone, so presumably the battery might be bigger.
Come on.
Yeah, the battery will be bigger and the power drain will be bigger.
Well, hang on, because now we've got all of these little accessories. We've got two little controllers on either side. They're going to have to be powered.
Please call them dongles.
They're going to have dongles. They're going to have batteries in each of those that are going to take. You know what I mean? Like, how else are you going to power those? How else do you run those?
Those are with batteries in the dongles.
Well, there's no cords, so they have to have batteries.
Yeah, in the dongles.
Yeah, but
there's 3 batteries total.
So I need to.
That's a shitload of batteries.
No,
so I got to
that's way
charge
too
it for 3.5 hours. Like, that's insane.
You got to put a AA battery in each of the controllers.
Just take one controller at one end of the house and the actual tab at the other end of the house. They'll charge at the same time. We'll be fine.
Dude, think about how quickly your battery drains the minute you load Pokemon Go. Doesn't even get to the fucking screen. Like, honestly, it was Pokemon Go that made me go, fuck, battery life is a huge deal. Battery life is really irritating. And I now own 3 battery banks because of it.
Okay,
You
Mr.
ass.
Excessive.
Well, it's also because the charging port in my car died, and I'm like, it's like for emergencies.
Well, and if you think like this isn't important, look at the Sega Game Gear versus the Game Boy. One of them had a battery life of multiple days. One of them had a battery life of multiple minutes.
Yeah, right.
And it was not good.
Yeah.
It took 6 AA's to power that thing.
I know.
And it lasted an hour or two.
And
The technology was just way beyond the current
Well,
era.
and batteries always add a whole lot of weight to it too. I mean, as Callie had mentioned this earlier. You know how big this fits in your pocket, the profile that it has, the portability of it. I mean, it's a fundamentally portable system that doesn't seem all that fucking portable.
Okay, you're gonna use a briefcase to port it. Okay, you're gonna have like a nice suede leather briefcase. You're gonna spend $400 on the system, $500 on the briefcase.
It's like Callie's laptop. It's the most impractical goddamn thing on the planet.
It's so heavy.
Why, dude? If you have a laptop, why make it as heavy as the goddamn desktop? I don't understand it. It's mind-blowing.
I don't like that I came out 2 years ago, and this is what's going to be inspiring me to get a purse.
Look, I agree with you about the battery life. That's a huge reservation for me. Unless there's some kind of like real big step forward in battery technology. Because now, like, think about it. You're going to have the system, you're going to have the dongles, you're going to have probably battery banks, and then, you know, like the fucking carrying case to keep it all safe. Dude, this is, I mean, it just seems like a monster investment of just like,
Space.
Can you imagine? Yeah, can you imagine someone pulls that thing out next to you on a plane and you're just like, oh, Jesus, this guy.
Starts
No,
like,
you'll be like, hey, let me play. I'm a hot girl. I'm gonna chill out with you, bro.
That will never
That
happen.
happens all the time with Nintendo products.
Oh, sort of like the
It's called the bubble.
sort of like
We're
the
like Mormons.
Like that's like the guy who we got sat next to flying out to Vegas, who was trying to make conversation with the girl across the aisle, wasn't working, and ended up listening to clips of him at a party, full blast, so that the rest of the plane could hear. Like it was like Instagram party video.
Snapchat or something.
Snapchat, yeah. It was fucking obnoxious.
Okay, now my question.
I want attention, please. Please, everyone else, listen to this, please. Fuck off.
I have no recollection of this, so I'm not sure if everyone on the other plane heard it.
Yeah. Oh, dude, it was loud as fuck. Loud as fuck.
So, was I the only one watching this trailer when we saw them, like, for the first time, like, slide the two controllers up? Was I the one who was picturing holding this thing and just having the middle just fall out? I'm like, oh.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm sure that there's some kind of locking mechanism that
I'm
gets that
sure
in
there
place.
is, but I can also see me being, like, really into a game and, like, oh, and then it just, slides out.
Or like you get really frustrated and just snaps and now it won't reconnect.
Oh, my God,
Fuck!
yes.
Have you guys forgotten Nintendium? How it's made of the strongest stuff on Earth?
Nintendium.
That's fair.
You know what?
That's perfectly fair,
You're
actually.
you're not wrong.
I'm never wrong.
The goddamn GameCube could survive a nuclear explosion.
I hit my N64 with a sledgehammer at one point to see what would happen because I had two.
Really?
It still turns on fine.
What happened?
Nothing.
Oh, wow, nothing.
It survived
Absolutely
and turns on
nothing.
fine.
Yeah.
You know what else does that? Fucking Chicken Limbo. Chicken Limbo takes it takes a lot to kill a Chicken Limbo.
It's that old Chicken Limbo's
Limbo's
the one. Big fun. You remember that kind of thing?
What is going on? Did you play this before the show?
No, that's a product from the
What are you
90s.
talking about?
It's a toy in the 90s.
Fuck, Chicken Limbo?
Yes. It was the only thing more unkillable than a Furby.
Yeah, it really was. There was like
Is this some kind of thing where you have to like go under a chicken or something?
Yes.
You limbo under a chicken that
Yeah.
goes up and down.
yeah, it's exactly it. It's got tail feathers that dangle down, and if you hit it, it squawks at you.
We're
And
done. We're done.
We killed Juxta. This is what it
Yeah.
took.
I like how he goes, I'm done, sets down his headphones, does not get up to walk away.
Just takes a drink.
All right, Diamolos, thanks for the call. We appreciate it. If you want to give Final Encountercast a call, 810-207-1764. We want to hear what your thoughts on the Switch are. Are you going to be picking it up? Are you going to be buying it? Are you excited for it?
Have you switched over to the Nintendo side?
Are you going to buy it, Krisha?
Eventually.
Not a day one purchase.
I gotta know the games. Like, see,
And
that's the thing.
It's
like,
the games and the price point. Like
Yeah.
the
No,
price point has to be right on this. They can't get that wrong.
What's a title that's going to make you pick it up?
Pokemon main game.
Nope.
Smash Brothers.
Possible.
Maybe.
Or Mario.
I'm gonna
Mario's day one release.
Yeah, Mario's definitely there. I'm pretty sure in that trailer we can kind of
Mario, I believe, is the
yeah, we
is
can
the
at least
confirmed for a
soft
day
confirm.
one release.
I think so. I think so.
Really?
Yeah.
It's the launch title.
I mean, it's there.
Mario and Breath of the Wild are both supposed to be launch.
Yeah.
Was
titles.
there
Breath
a
of the Wild,
Mario
right.
launch title for the Wii?
There hasn't been a
the
launch
Wii
title
U?
Mario
Nah, there
in
has
years.
not a while.
Yeah, so I'm not holding my breath on that.
The last Mario launch title was Super Mario 64, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Maybe.
It's been a while.
GameCube
'Cause
had Luigi Mansion.
Well, Sunshine got pushed back.
Yeah. The last time it was a launch title, I
Yeah,
believe.
you're
was
right.
Super Mario
Yeah,
64.
yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're
So
right.
I'm not holding my breath.
You know, fair enough. Bet history. It is supposed to be a launch title for it, so we'll see.
So
what price are you comfortable paying for this? Knowing what we know now, like if they came out and said, what number?
I would probably pay up to $500.
wow.
That's a gen console, next gen console.
But we just got done saying that this is not a next gen console.
Okay, well it's a Nintendo console, which means if you want to play the actual good games that exist in the world, you gotta get a Nintendo.
See, look at inside the bubble, man.
Oh my god!
I'm just a realist. Okay,
300 is my cap.
Fucking
$299.99.
Are you kidding?
$249. Literally half of what you would pay is the most that I would pay.
Why do you think this is gonna come out for $300? That's what the last one came out for.
Because
Because that's
It's gonna
what
be
it's
at least
worth. I don't know.
$300 to $400 to $500.
No, if they try to get away with $400, there's
they're not
no
gonna.
way.
Yeah, they're really.
No.
Yeah, they're
Have
gonna
you guys
hurt.
not heard of
500 is
inflation?
insane.
I'm
500
just saying what
is
I would
insane.
pay.
The PS
Like my cap would be $500.
the PS4 was less at launch than the PS3 was. 600 to 400.
Yeah,
Are you serious?
Yeah.
yeah,
If the hardware determines the price.
yeah.
Okay.
I'm
guess.
really 250, and I'm being I recognize I'm being a dick about that.
Man.
300 is probably a much more reasonable expectation, but honestly, 250 is honestly, I won't buy it until it's 250.
I would do 300. My gut says they're going to go 349.99. Try and do that.
And the problem
That's my gut.
The problem is that Nintendo's got nothing that they can reel me in with.
Well-
Zelda. I am so disconnected from Zelda. I look, guys. I grant it's a good launch title and it will get a lot of people.
Yeah.
Doesn't get me.
Dude, I'm terrified
Pokemon-
of open world Zelda.
With good reason, man. I mean, I'm terrified of open world Final Fantasy. I really have. I have a lot of reservations about that. I think it's just not going to come off as a Final Fantasy. Just like I think Zelda's not going to end up coming off as Zelda. It's not going to feel Zelda-y. In the same way that, I mean, granted, look, I'm a little bit picky about that kind of stuff because I was picking apart Sun and Moon, the demo, for
Right.
not feeling Pokemon-y enough.
Right.
So, I mean, look, I probably have a much more conservative expectation for what I want out of my games, and that's fine. I'm totally willing to cop to that. I'm willing to admit that. But the thing is that you do run a risk of having that be the sentiment overall around your game, and that's not good. I think that's like if the majority of people who play it feel like that's not a Final Fantasy game or that's not a Zelda game, that's not good for the brand. And dude, my opinion is subjective, and I'm wrong a lot. That's fine. I'm totally okay being wrong. I'm just saying that you have to do right by the audience and their expectations. So that is definitely a good point. So yeah, no, 250 for me, man. I don't think that.
Is that your price or what you think it's going to come out for?
No, that's my price.
Okay.
That's my personal. That's the highest that I would go.
What's your guess?
And the only property that they have that would pull me in is main Pokemon game. But we've got Sun and Moon, so we can't expect another.
Yeah, it's not coming
We
out
can't.
anytime
Yeah, we can't expect another for a long time. And I think if we get another, that we're going to get another 3DS game out of the.
They've always seemed more. Every game, it's always on the handheld system.
Well, there's
But,
always always two sets of games that come out with each generation of
Yeah,
Pokemon.
Right.
Pokemon Eclipse.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
if the only way you see it on the Switch, a main gen Pokemon, is if they announce there's not going to be any more handheld systems.
Well,
they
Did
say
they
that
say that or no?
I don't know. Have they?
I
Have
think they said like 2 or 3 more years of 3DS development,
And then everything just goes to the Switch.
and then everyone switches
Okay.
to the
Yeah,
Switch.
that's
then you might see the next Pokemon game be planned for the Switch.
all right, let's go back to our phone lines and talk to TJ. TJ, thanks for calling Final Encountercast. What's up, dude?
Hey, how's it going, guys? Y'all doing okay?
Oh, we are doing
Doing
great.
great.
Thanks for calling in. You want to talk about?
Hey, so
you want to talk about Nintendo?
yeah.
All right, let's do that.
yeah, I was talking about. Sorry, I keep cutting you off. Yeah, I was calling about the Switch. I mean, I'm a longtime Nintendo fan. I didn't go in with any expectations to the trailer, and when I saw it, I was like, well, this looks really good. And then I saw Skyrim, and my hype meter just went through the roof because I'm like, finally, maybe we're going to get good third-party games. But after the initial high that I had, I kind of thought about, I was like, now wait a minute. We saw Mario Kart, which might be like an enhanced port. We
Right.
saw what could be an enhanced port of Splatoon, maybe. And then we saw Skyrim. And after I saw the list of third-party developers, it made me think, well, with this system, are we just going to get a bunch of remakes? Like, is this going to be Nintendo's chance to be like, hey, all those great games you loved last generation, they're here? Because I just get the feeling that we're going to see, like, another port of, like, Resident Evil 4.
Yeah, no,
maybe a port of Metal Gear Solid 5. I just get that feeling that that's what the Switch is going to end up being,
I think there will
I don't know how I
absolutely
feel
be an
about that.
element of that. Like, you'll definitely have a lot of these games that we couldn't get on Nintendo prior to this coming over now.
Right.
And also because I don't think you're going to have any backwards compatibility on this.
No, it's 0.
The zero, like, there's no way you're playing Wii U games.
No,
on
no,
this.
no. Yeah.
You
so,
cannot.
okay, hang on. But that doesn't mean that they won't later unlock digital backwards compatibility.
Well, you have to buy those. though.
Yeah, right. You got to rebuy them. Sort of like how Sony and Microsoft they resell digital digital downloads of stuff. It could be a very lucrative market, TJ, because as Callie had mentioned, these titles were not available on Nintendo products. So you've got, and the question really is there, okay, well, how many core Nintendo fans just didn't bother playing games like Skyrim because they weren't on the hardware? I don't think that there's that many. There's some, but there's not that many. There's definitely a little bit of a market there. And I think as long as they don't put all of the money into it, and depending on how easy they are to port, like if the architecture makes it really easy to port, there really is no reason.
Right.
There's no reason not to, right? Like that's just all money at that point.
But don't Wii U games require both the Wii U screen and the screen?
Yeah.
The TV screen?
Yeah.
How would you port that?
I have no
Ever?
idea. I have no idea.
I don't think you ever can.
I have no idea. Same thing with Nintendo
3DS
Yeah,
games. How would you ever
3DS
bring those
games,
over?
Nintendo DS games. Yeah, there's no, unless there is a touchscreen element to it, and then you would just sort of like maybe have one screen on like laid out laterally. I don't know. It's weird. That's weird.
Yeah, obviously the two-screen element might be something that kind of hamstrings them on this time.
But the thing about Nintendo is that they're always really good about some kind of backwards compatibility. All of their handheld systems have always supported at least one generation of backwards compatibility. And I find it really hard to believe that there would be absolutely no support. And I also feel like there's a lot of stuff that people just missed out on the Wii U because they didn't buy it. And
Exactly.
Yeah, and if they had the opportunity to represent some of those games, that they should probably take that opportunity. Yeah,
and that's kind of my biggest concern too. Is that this is, I don't want to say punish Wii U owners, because I have one. I got a lot of consoles. I'm a gamer. I want to play what's fun and what's new. And that's my biggest concern is that as much as I'm hyped for the Switch now, like at the same time I don't want to feel like, all right, well let me buy this new port of Bayonetta 2 or something like that, because some of those games didn't need the second screen, like Hyrule Warriors, Twilight Princess HD. You can play them with just a controller. You don't need the pad. So that's kind of my concern, is that is the Switch going to be something that hey, not a lot of people had Wii U, so here's your chance to finally play insert good Wii U game here. So.
Yeah, I guess that's another really good point, is that there were so few games that the Wii U pad was required for,
right,
or that you couldn't just strip that element out and still have it work as its own game. That I think, you could end up doing Wii U ports. So I do expect Nintendo will support at least some of their titles through digital download. And they've got a good opportunity, especially if the system is significantly more powerful, and it does seem significantly more powerful than the Wii U. But I mean, this is just, I think Nintendo has an upward battle in terms of trying to stay competitive in terms of pumping out graphics, because, you're going to get you'll probably get a lot of the greatest hits like Skyrim, like Fallout, of the last generation finally make their way to Nintendo. But all of this new stuff that's coming out, I think that it hamstrings a lot of that. I think that that's going to be really hard to replicate on that hardware. Thanks for the call, TJ. We appreciate it. We got a couple of more callers that we want to get through, but we've got to wrap it up pretty soon. Going to go back to our phone lines here in just a second. Final Encountercast on Skype, 810-207-1764. We're talking about the Nintendo Switch. Whether or not you are planning on buying it, are you picking it up? You want to? You said day one, probably not.
Probably not. For me, it's always about the games.
Was Wii U day one or no? No.
Wii U was Smash Brothers.
Oh wow, that's pretty late into the cycle.
That's what I mean when I say games dictate what I buy. So,
and I think that's especially true of Nintendo. Now that I think about it, 3DS was once Bravely Default came out.
Nope.
I didn't get it till then.
I didn't get it until X and Y.
Oh wow.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep. And I got the special handy dandy X and Y special edition.
You had Bravely Default. You played through Bravely Default. Did X and Y come out before Bravely Default? Is that what it is? It must have.
Bravely
It
Default
must have. Because
beforehand, I think.
Hold on. Wasn't Bravely Default on the 3DS?
Yes.
yeah,
Oh, then I bought it on the... Oh, wait.
yeah, the 3DS.
Yeah, Bravely
Did you
Default
have
was
an
before
old? Did you have an
X and Y.
old fat 3DS?
Yeah.
Okay, then that explains it. You had a 3DS for a while. Yeah, because you had to have, because I know that we had been playing through Bravely Default around the same time.
Why did I buy a 3DS, though?
For Bravely Default.
Why are you looking at me?
I don't know, because you're part of the bubble. Help me to remember. It wasn't for Bravely Default.
Would it have
Donkey
been
Kong
for
Country
Mario?
Returns?
Oh, wait. There was Smash Brothers for 3DS. That came out like a while before it came out for Wii U.
I had it before then.
You had it before then.
I did. Was there a different Pokemon game?
No.
Super Mario 3D?
X and Y were the first Pokemon games.
I don't know.
Mario Kart?
I'm gonna guess.
There was a Mario Kart on there.
I'm gonna guess that X and Y came out before Bravely Default, and you already had it, and we just played Bravely Default at around the same time.
I think so.
I think that sounds right.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right, let's go back to our phone lines and talk to Patrick. Patrick, what's going on?
Hey guys, how's it going?
Thanks for giving us a call here on Final Encountercast.
So I just wanted to quickly talk about the price point of the NX, because that to me is the biggest thing that's going to determine whether I pick it up or not.
So
I went
what's
to PSVR.
what's
Sorry, go on.
No. What's your maximum? Like, what's the max that you would pay for a Switch?
$249 is the max. I mean, I'd prefer
Right in
it
line
if it was
with an ear.
closer to 200.
Yeah.
Because I've been to a PSVR event about 2 weeks ago, and if the Switch and the VR systems are the same price, let's say they're $400 each, I'm going to choose the VR. Like, I'm not going to choose the Switch because
I
the
think-
VR has so much more potential.
Oh yeah, I think that's an easy choice.
I've been very excited because I've yet to have someone tell me the VR sucks.
Yeah.
Everyone
says
says it's sweet.
Everything.
Everyone says it's amazing.
Everything that I hear about PSVR is that it's worth getting. But again, I mean that's another situation, Krisha, where the games are really going to be the driving factor there.
Yeah.
If the games aren't there, if the software's not there at the end of the day, then it's going to be a pointless piece of hardware. But I think that the buzz around it, the potential that surrounds it is huge. It's massive. And I think that's pretty phenomenal. That's what I like to see out of new hardware. And you're right. If it is the same price point, it's going to be a no-brainer to go with the PSVR. I think that's the price point that they've got to beat. They're really competing not with the consoles anymore, not with PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. Most everyone who's going to buy those bought them. They already made the decision, right? And at this point, now it's what's the peripheral that you're going to end up investing in? Is it going to be the Nintendo Switch, or is it going to be the PlayStation VR? I think that's a very fair
Switch
comparison.
isn't a peripheral, though. It's a console.
Totally.
Next gen.
Is it Is it?
Presumably.
Is it?
Presumably.
Is it?
Presumably.
So, Pat, tell us a little bit about the PSVR experience. Like, what was it that sealed the deal for you?
So I played 2 games. The first one I played was Farpoint, which had the gun controller,
Right.
which isn't actually released yet, which was really cool to hold. It was so tactile, really light, and the shooting was really precise. But the thing that sold me was I played Resident Evil 7 Biohazard on the VR, which was honestly the most intense gaming experience in my whole life.
Really?
It's really bad when you're walking towards the booth, and I'm like, okay, they're ready to go. And some girl screamed and jumped so hard, like, away from the screen, that she ripped the cord out of the PlayStation in the booth.
But this is what I mean. Like, this is what we've been talking about
Yeah.
since we started talking about VR. The horror aspect of it is
Yeah.
going to sell it.
Oh, absolutely.
It's
I
so
don't
good.
like horror games.
You will now.
Yeah. You don't have a
No!
choice. You don't have a choice.
I want to get one.
Or else I'll downvote you on China's social networks.
Oh, shit.
Sesame credit, man.
That's right. There we go.
I want to
Credit.
I want to
Couldn't
get this and stream it. I want to stream horror games on the VR.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be amazing.
You also want to stream horror games? Because you're a horror.
Well, Twitch usually bans those.
Yeah. Those aren't. They
We'll
look.
get around it.
They look down on that. Patrick, thanks for the call and letting us know a little bit about the PlayStation VR. I know that I'm super excited about it. We had a couple of conversations with.
Robbie is super excited about it.
Yeah, like every time, like I had a couple of conversations with folks at FanFest about PSVR because a few of them had gotten to experience it. Those conversations, out of way more hype out of them than any kind of promotional material, advertising piece. The user testimonials, the word of mouth, the enthusiasm from these people about how they were like, no, you don't it was like, you know how like someone has like a weird religious experience that you've never had, but they swear by it. It's sort of like that. I'm like, they're like, no, you have to experience it. Like it's a thing that you have to go through.
And we've always kind of thought there's not going to be a big middle ground on VR. It's either going to be disappointing or it's going to be a revolution in gaming. It's going to change the way gaming works.
Totally.
And
Yeah.
I like everything I'm hearing so far has me so excited to
Dude,
try it.
Again, it's not any of the marketing. It's not any of the, the packaged, well thought out. None of that. It's all of the enthusiasm that exists behind the product. That
I
doesn't
got to
happen
talk to a
often.
friend who got to do the Star Wars VR experience thing.
No shit.
And they said it was like their childhood dream come true.
Wow.
I'm like, oh man.
Dude, that is so awesome. All right, we're running a little bit